My name is Terry Elsner. I'm from the Atlanta, Georgia area. I reside in Marietta. Been with Joe Crump's program since April of 2009. Excited to be here, excited to be around the people that I've been able to meet and to be involved with, and just looking for exciting days ahead. It's just really amazing over the last year that we have, the information we have gathered has allowed us to not only build up a continual income, passive income, but it's also allows us to take immediate income. One of the things that we have always struggled with is always that one or the other. You can either have passive income or you can have immediate income. But what we have done through Joe's system is we blended the two together that allows you to take both sides of the coin. And so while I have been making a great amount of passive income for the future, I've been able to pay my expenses and have immediate income as well. So it's been a two-edged coin, two-sided coin rather for us, that what we're doing. We were into the buy it, fix it, sell it mentality. We went into auctions. Houses was cheap and plentiful. We went into auctions, bought houses, began to rehab them, and then to turn around and sell them. Well, about 2 months into that ball game, I found out very quickly that did not have the mentality or the ability to be a rehabber. It's good work, nothing against rehabbing, it's just not me. I guess I tell a lot of people what I've become now as a transactional engineer. I just put the transaction together now. We put the paperwork together. We find the way when there is no way. When the bank says that you can't get it, we'll find a way to put you in a house. We're dealing with people that cannot get a house any other way. Otherwise, we were selling to investors. They were getting the end money. But now we're dealing with the end buyer most of the time. We're finding people that have had rough patches in their life. They've had situations where, not of their own fault, maybe have got caught up in some type of adjustable rate mortgage where they lost their home. And now these aren't your typical go to an apartment complex, rent an apartment and go on. These people are homeowners. And so what we have done, we have found a way for them to own a home, to buy it with a hope of getting their credit restored. Then they become very great tenants or land contract people, and they pay their bills. And that's what we have become. We've become the bank. So we don't have to worry about the landlording issues that we had. As I said, rehabbing was okay. There was money to be made there, but it's a lot more fun to make the money through signing papers and documents. As I said earlier, most of the people that we deal with, even investors, aren't really familiar with how many of the different ways there are to creatively finance a project. You can look at, give me any house, any situation, and there's a way that we can find to make that house work. There's not been many instances that we've had just walk away with our hands in the air and say, we can't do anything with this. Somebody, some way will work, and even as these new programs are coming along lines, as through short sales and other situations, there's even more that's going to be able to be helpful there. The government extending the first-time home buyer credit has given us immediate cash flow, and so we've allowed ourselves to work both sides of the aisle and make a real nice living. We was buying, fixing, holding, sometimes, most of the time selling, and landlording. We had our own share of rental houses that we had, and was introduced to Joe, and that's why I was attracted to Joe's program. It was a program that talked about no money. Even though I've been surrounded with that all of my real estate activity, I never really either believed it or never did really see how it would be possible. So Joe's program opened up a way of using his method system and ways of getting houses and turning them over with no money that became attractive to us. Got us out of blue collar into white collar type of work. It was really strange. We first time that we had talked to Joe, and Joe interviewed us about becoming part of the mentor program. I had a deal that I had bought, and actually over eBay, bought the house up in Indiana up here, and I was coming up to the people, and after what I picked up from Joe's calls, I went up and talked to them about putting them on a land contract instead of them renting, and went through the process, and actually within, I guess, 3 weeks, we had a check sitting there for $4,000. We said, well, that's easy. We got another house in Fort Wayne. Let's do that. So literally, we made $8,000 within 3 weeks using Joe's systems of getting our program in a no money down changeover. No more paperwork, nothing different for us, just a creative way and thinking out of the box way of getting things done. So that took about 3 weeks. My appraisers are, if they're not in jail, they're suffering a good bit as well. Most of my rehabbers are calling me every day begging for work. It was a tough year. And I'm sort of getting over the sense of being somewhat feeling guilty. It was a great year for us. As the economy dipped and went to the bottom was when our income started going up. And as I see the next few years, we're going to still, as we bump along the bottom here before we start to rise again, it's just a perfect time to implement our strategies to get people to take programs that we have and make it a win-win situation for them as well. Being rehabbers, we were very hands-on, even to the point of rehabbing. Even though I don't swing hammers and I didn't paint, I was still on the job site. So it was hard for me to let go of the automation. When I started out under Joe's program, it was just me. I was the only one that was doing any of the work. Soon after that, it became pretty intensified, so we brought on help to help us in the office, administrative assistants, and things of that nature. Now we've built up a network of people that we can call on by using tax attorneys, by using real estate attorneys, by using people that are in the actual hand-on business to work hand in hand. We do very little of that work ourselves now. I think our next step will be to automate our business, get into the where we basically just kind of let the internet run our business for us. I see it now getting to that point. I can understand now the necessity, because it becomes to a point to where it gets to be so large that without some type of automation, you begin to see people fall through the cracks. I have people now call me, my phone will ring and they'll say, you remember me, I talked to you 6 months ago. I can't remember who I talked to 6 days ago. And so through automation, I could see where it would be an opportunity to keep those names in a file, in a autoresponder, or something that would help them be able to keep them before me. Because there's no telling how many people that have fell through the cracks. People said, find me a house that we just literally lost through the shuffle of normal living. Well, that's what's amazing to me. We just had a deal, I think it's been about a month ago now. We had a guy call me out of the blue. He's an airline pilot, corporate pilot. He calls me up and he said, are you the house guy? Well, I didn't know how to quite respond to that, but yes, I am the house guy. And he said, listen, he said, I live in my neighborhood. My neighbor has, you've worked with him on some of his homes. Would you be willing to take my house? Well, that was an interesting question to me. You know, would you be willing to take my house? And coming a long story short, he had a house, had a mortgage. He took an 80-20 loan on, completely mortgaged up. And nice house, $200,000 house in a very exclusive neighborhood. And he said, just looking for somebody who will take my house. And it wasn't one of those deals where the guy was 7 months behind on his payments. He was paying his payment. He's making $1,500 payment. He had a new mortgage probably of over $3,000 in his new home. And he was just wanting somebody to take his deal. And that was nothing I garnered myself. That was nothing that I dug up. It was just because he was talking to someone that I had done business with. So we're getting to that point now. People call me all the time where they say, so-and-so has, you said you could help me. And so we're now getting a lot of word-of-mouth business. And that's where, you know, as the business is growing, it's really starting to outgrow me. There again, in your neighborhood, my neighborhood, you become the house guy. The house guy. You know, people will take you out of the not out of the phone book by any other type of advertising, but they'll believe the guy who's you've done a good job for somewhere else. Oh, so it's going to make a ton of difference that you have helped someone that they know and they trust. I mean, it's amazing to me. I stand amazed oftentimes, Jim, how many people just trust you. And it's because of the reputation that you garner. We do things right. You know, we're not out here trying to hurt people. We're not here trying to take advantage of people that are hurting. We're out here trying to genuinely help people. And as you told me early on, if you don't have the heart to help someone, you'll fail in this business. But if you have a heart to help someone, the business will take care of itself. The support group is the backbone. I believe, of the business, of anyone's business, particularly when you're starting out. You kind of feel as if no one's out there for you. But if you can talk to someone who's going through the same trials and difficulties and challenges that you're facing, get their feedback, get the mastermind group in your area or through a national base, as we do here. Take all their ideas. I mean, anytime that I get around someone such as I am this weekend, I will pick up an idea that will make me several $1,000s. Many people say, I don't have time for that. Truth is, how much money is it costing you not to do it? And so if you take the time to be around people, take time out of your schedule, it will make you money down the road. And there will come those eventual bumps in the road, and then you need to have a sounding board. And that's why having a program in a mentor group or a group that you can have someone to share ideas with will bring strength to your business. We're growing, so we're going to make mistakes, and we are learning. So to be honest with you, I'd rather learn from your mistakes than me to have to learn from my mistakes. And so I'll take, I will take your bumps in the road and avoid the pitfalls. And now I think that's real important. And I think we get our eyes off that many times. This is, we are not in competition with one another. If we lived on the same street and next to the same house and one another, there's so much business out here right now. It's not too crowded. Most of the time people aren't doing what we're doing anyway, but at the same time, there's plenty out there for everyone. And for people who's doing it ethically, morally, and for a situation that's going to help not only them, but it's going to help the people that they're working with, if they keep that in mind and work around like-minded people, it's going to strengthen their business. Only years to come will only tell how much we'll be able to do because of this difficult time, as we've called it, this recessionary period. I'll take the lows. I mean, I want the good times to come back. But through it all, I mean, there's ways to make money when the market's down like it is now. It's a way to make money when the market's up. You have to be prepared for it, and when it gets here, to be able to seize the opportunity when it comes. Had a little difficult time with my health. I was not at 100%, and what this business allowed me to do was to really take off a little bit of time. Then the business was right there. Yeah, I didn't miss a paycheck. I didn't miss any meals. The business was right there, and it never affected me whatsoever. So I'm not affected by, if the economy's up, if the stock market's up 100 points today, I'm excited for the Bulls. If it's down 200, I'm excited for the Bears. If it's going through a difficult time around me and I see foreclosures, there's opportunity out here. We just have to be able to look for it and to grab it, and to have an opportunity where, like we do, where this is really not a job. This is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's all about the people, helping them. The guy who's wanting to get into real estate business, I guess, is the person who is two different kind of people. One kind of person is saying, I want to get in the real estate business. I want to make a lot of money. I want to be filthy dog rich. That's one individual. The other side sees really what this business is about. I want to help people. The person who's out here for the money, I will think will eventually fail. But the person out here who's trying to help people will ultimately succeed. And if somebody's looking at a program such as this and they say, can I do it? I look around and I stand amazed. We're from different backgrounds, different parts of the country. I see people who are from the South who, like myself, talk with a Southern twang. I see people from the West Coast who work with $500,000 and $600,000 homes. I see people from up north and the challenges of the Rust Belt. And it's all one common thing. It's taking the practices that you're taught, and not without studying and working in the early days, putting the effort into it. But to take the program and not try to reinvent it, but to use it as it's presented. If someone tells you to step left, step left. If someone tells you to step right, you may not understand it or quite agree with it, but just take it at it what it is and take the program and utilize it as it's presented, and you will definitely have the win situation where you'll not only make a tremendous amount of money, but you'll also help people along the way. And that's really what it's all about. For all the guys, and I know there's many out there who's pushing their particular program and pushing their particular way to riches. if you find someone who is genuinely wanting to help someone, that's who you need to listen to. Listen to someone who's been there. Listen to someone who's had the bumps in the road and have fell in the ditch a few times. Let them get that out of the way for you. But the guy who is out there pie in the sky, it might work for a while, but ultimately it won't carry on. You need a support base, support group, somebody you can turn to, and somebody who can help you when you don't know what to do. The thing I've always been impressed with this organization is I can send Joe an email at any time. He's never too busy to take time to answer my emails and to communicate with me either through phone or email or how we communicate of different situations that I needed to have handled. And now it's really become a situation where now my desire is to pass along and to help the next guy. And so that's why I think that we're here for. If we can't pass it along, we've really not accomplished much. What are they going to say about us after we're gone? Right. And that's what's really important to me. The fun and the kick to me is when you're sitting there and you tell them something, and for the first time the light comes on. I get it. And if they start to take that home with them, and then you hear from them, they have accomplished their first deal, they've taken their first check to the bank, maybe some past due bills that they've been struggling with have been paid. The pressure's all for them now. It's cookie cutter, as you said earlier, that they learned before. They just do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. And there's plenty of opportunity to do it as many times as you want to do it.